I know a lot of people could relate to the time when Kaguya wanted to give a speech to be the next student president. Immediately he wanted to start a speech, he froze for 10 minutes without saying a word, and it was comedic. Some of us can also relate to Bocchi's struggles to be social and her battle with social anxiety. She struggles to talk to people and her issues are very relatable. Even my first presentation in the university was a total flop. I couldn't speak up and was always looking at my paper and not looking at the audience, which made my presentation lifeless. I used anime as an inspiration to work on my next presentation, which was an incredible success, and a lot of people loved it. Anime made me turn my presentation and public speaking game around, and here are the tips that I got from anime. Number 1. Prepare as much as possible. If you know something well, you have no problem talking about it, so when you want to talk on a topic, make sure you do your research till you know a lot about the topic that you're about to present on. If you also have the chance to pick a topic, make sure that you pick a topic that you already know. You won't need to research as much then. You will be in your domain and all you need to do is work on your other skills. Number 2. Work on your speaking. Practice in front of the mirror a lot when you are preparing for your presentations, and then constantly tweak your approach until you are pleased with the results. I learned it from Ainz. When Ainz's whole goal was transported to the other world, he had to make himself look like an overlord to impress the people under him. He started to practice, and the first thing he worked on was his speech. Sometimes when he was alone in his room, he'd practice and make sure it sounds right. Number 3. Practice relaxation techniques. You speak better when you are relaxed, so all you need to do is find a way to relax during your presentation. This is very challenging, but with time and practice, you get the hang of it. I also learned this from Ainz's own goal. Ainz has a limiter that always helps him to relax, and that's why he's always calm during the series. It's a sort of relaxation technique, and if you can mimic this, you have a way to relax during your presentations. Shinomi Kaguya also has a certain pose that she uses when she's flustered. It helps her to relax almost immediately. Number 4. Visualize success. If you constantly see yourself giving a successful presentation, you definitely do it. Visualization is a technique that a lot of people use to assure their success, and if you master this, you give better presentations. I learned it from Kaguya. She does not anticipate failure whenever she does something, which makes her do it with ease. Don't confuse this with overconfidence, or you'll be humbled. Number 5. Seek help from people you trust. When you present or practice with people you trust, ask them for constructive criticism so that you can improve. If you know your flaws, you can work on them to improve. I learned this from the time I got reincarnated as a slime. Gazelle Duago, the Dwarf King, criticized Rimoro's speech and told him exactly what he needs to work on, so that the next time he'll give a speech, he'll speak like the leader of a nation. He followed Gazelle's advice, and the next time he gave a speech to the foreigners that came to the official opening of his nation, he had improved massively. Number 6. Use visual aids. I use this a lot and I often struggled without it. Visual aids like slides or props add more life to your presentation, and it can also help you to get your message across more easily. It also gives you a break from speaking continuously. You just have to make sure they assist you in getting your message across. I learned this from Kaguya. When Kaguya assisted Miyuki to deliver a speech in the student council election, she used slides to make her presentation visually appealing, and the audience preferred her presentation to her opponent's presentation. Number 7. Know your audience. Carefully research your audience, know what they like, and tell them what they want to hear. I'll definitely listen to what I want to hear instead of what you want me to hear. This strategy is commonly used when people want to pitch a business plan to some investors, but it can also be used in normal presentations and public speaking. I learned this from Kaguya. She knew that the students didn't want to see a boring presentation, so she made her presentation visually appealing to the students, and anything that is visually appealing will have a positive response. Number 8. Don't focus on your mistakes. If you made a mistake during a presentation, don't dwell on it and continue with your presentation. Most audiences know that presenting isn't easy, and they usually sympathize with the presenter. I've never heard of an audience that wants a presenter to fail, unless the presenter has a lot of people who hate him. Number 9. Focus on the message. If you worry about the audience perception of you, you lose focus when presenting the message and you flop. So don't focus on the audience, focus on your message and you have a better chance of having a good presentation. Number 10. Speak publicly more often. Most of the people that take public speaking as a career are used to speaking publicly. If you want to take this as a career, or if you want to use it as a tool to further your career, speak publicly as often as possible and it will become normal to you. Erwin is used to speaking publicly and he knows the words to say that will move the hearts of his soldiers. This ability didn't just appear in him, it came from years of experience. I'm sure you've heard of his rousing speech shortly before he died. That speech is one of the best speeches in anime, and sometimes I listen to it to get myself hyped up. Number 11. Speak positively to yourself. You've already prepared as much as possible, and you feel you're ready, but negative thoughts always find a way to creep in. Instead of telling yourself you're going to flop and embarrass yourself, tell yourself that you're capable, you've done all you can, and you're going to ace this. Positive thoughts are better for your confidence. So these are the tips that help me turn my presentation and public speaking around. And honestly, they make presentations fun and not as scary as they used to be. Everyone is nervous before a presentation, even the experienced speakers, but they use these tips to turn their nervousness into confidence, and if you follow these tips, I'm sure you get the same result. It will happen gradually and not immediately, but you get there with constant practice and effort, so good luck on your next presentation. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe, and if you're interested in watching a video that shows how anime teaches you to have a great work-life balance, then you can watch this video. Have a lovely day.